And hello, everyone. It's FANzine Live. It's Tom, and we are doing the Phoenix Spotlight on Heroes Now, number 2. Kind of an exciting issue because the first issue, as I say in my opener, suggests that the first issue is, well, the second, it says, in the world of big boy comics, that's the issue where the speculators have had their feast. The publisher decides on whether the series is a worthwhile ongoing pursuit. In small press, however, it's the issue where you start getting your sea legs. You've tested all sorts of ideas. Now it's time to hone the formula, which is happening here. Some things didn't change from the first issue. The big one is the covers by David Baf-Galart out of Venezuela, who unfortunately I've not been able to get back in touch with. Things are kind of fluid down in Venezuela right now. But David did this homage cover for the Justice League. Justice League #1 by Kevin Maguire. And of course he uses all the different Phoenix characters. So you've got Patriot and Jeff and Hologram and Accelerator, the Light, Laserdisc, and then the two new characters, Parkour and Fuse. Keith Newsom, of course, doing his piece. So the pinups stayed. Definitely the cover stayed. But the big change was that I put in full page kind of scene setters, the story thus far about the character. And as you will see, the Patriots story is a 4-parter. So this basically helps explain what happened in the prior issues, the prior issue. And we jump right in, and our Patriot characters, the Patriots now, Jeff, Parkour, and Fuse, are off to their first mission. And I thought that I would use the plane trip to do the backstory. So we tell the story of Fuse first, and how he came from Zimbabwe, some really interesting stuff about his life. Then we jump to Parkour, who I gotta hand it to Tony Lorenz, the artist on this, who was the best sequential story artist in the 2023 UFO Awards. I told Tony that I wanted to make Parkour's story questionable, as in, is she truly telling the truth or not? And so he switched his style from this nice, clean look, which in this issue is inked by Tom Ahern. He switched it to a truly cartoony type look. So is Parkour BSing her origin story? It's possible. We'll see. And then, of course, you've got the short version of the Patriot story, Patriot and Jeff, where he says, apparently I committed a few war crimes. And for those who read the Heroes Now Patriots story, you know that it's not an apparently, he did. But anyway, so you've got the story. The other thing I put in here was, after the Heroes Now Patriots story, I put in a little bit of what happened to him. And I said, there was a catch. So the government thought I had value again, so they processed me out. There was a catch, always a catch. The docs concluded that I lost it as a response to intense stimuli. Their tests showed that a side effect is a spike in blood pressure. They injected me with something that regulates me when my blood pressure gets out of control. One of them says, regulates you? And Jeff says, yeah, if my blood pressure gets too high, I black out. Parkour says, hold on. You're saying if things get too intense, you faint? Yup. He says, and she says, where again are we going? And they're flying into what clearly is a war zone. And it's Syria. Next, I instituted the Hero Gallery here in FANzine Live, or not FANzine Live, in Heroes Now. And I started with Fred Hembeck. And he did trading cards of the 5 core characters, and every issue since has had a different hero gallery drawn by artists you may have known of. Kind of fun. David did a really sharp pinup of Laserdisc and Accelerator. And then another really exciting part of all this is the return of Teri Sue Wood after 20 years to comics. And this is the active shooter story for Accelerator. Now, we did the active shooter story as the artist edition. This is the fully lettered, captioned edition. And I think she did a wonderful job. And it killed me every time I had to put a word balloon in. Hopefully it was enough to compliment her, but not too much to cover up her great work. This was an interesting one, and I will note here that active shooter came out of the shooting spree in Uvalde, Texas. And then, not too long after that, it says here, and this is a true story, a kid brought a loaded gun on the bus and into my daughter's classroom. Now, she never saw the gun, but that offending kid was whisked out with his backpack, blessedly, and has not been seen on campus again. This stuff is real. And what I tried to do with this story is not only keep building the character and cast of Accelerator, but the story itself is about a kid who clearly is troubled. And it's actually a family friend. And basically shoots up a school. But then she is able to, after she takes control of the situation, she gets the backstory on the kid. And I try to show how basically he had issues. And then how hard it was, of course, for Accelerator to deal with it. It's tough as a mom, as a parent, as a superhero, the whole thing. It's a very tough situation, but I wanted to do this story, and I thought I did so in a pretty even-handed way. And of course, Teri Sue Wood's work, good Lord, is fantastic. An ad for Hologram, the UFO checklist, and then a Laserdisc piece by Keith Newsom. So that's it. Heroes Now #2. Available via PDF at Gumroad, and available on Amazon in physical form. You can get these links in the liner notes below the show notes, I guess, here on YouTube. Thanks for watching, everybody. Heroes Now #2. Check it out.